Hello, sorry I'm a few minutes late. Let's see, what am I missing? I'm missing the sample. Bear with me 1 second, I'm not very prepared. Well, I have been trying to prepare. I've been listening to the poem that this fragrance is all about. So bear with me 1 second. Ooh. I'm back. Sorry, I'm back. There's my, I always forget to put the microphone on and then the sound is terrible. So, hello, I've got the sample. Let's see who's here. I can't seem to find my video on my own channel. Let's see if it's, I'll refresh it, see if it's here. Oh, here we are. Right, okay. Turn the volume off. There we go. Right, okay. Let's see your comments. So we have Stefan. Oh, you're so damn privileged. I take it you mean getting the sample. Yeah, I've bought a few things from Francesca, and I think she sort of sends out new samples to some customers and I guess reviewers. She was very insistent that she didn't expect any reviews or anything, but of course I had a look and there's no reviews that I can find on YouTube or Instagram. I didn't check Fragrantica actually, but I didn't really want to see what anyone else had said anyway because I don't want to be influenced, and the notes aren't there. There are no notes. So I've got the sample here, and the little bit of research I was just doing was I read the poem, the William Blake poem, The Tiger it's called. And then I wanted to hear the poem because there's one word, symmetry, which doesn't, if you say it properly, as we say it, symmetry, it doesn't fit it doesn't rhyme. So I wanted to see if other people say symmetry or if they say it in a way to make it rhyme with the poem, because I'm going to read the poem to you all. I know some of you might not want me to do that, but it's going to happen anyway. So yes, so hello everyone. I have got here in the room, let's have a little look. So we've got Stefan, we've got Scotty, we've got Jim, Margie, Sam. Sam says so jealous. John, and Margie says hi, John. I'm saying hi to John. Stefan's got the notes. Why are you telling me the notes? I'm not going to look, Stefan, because I really don't want to be influenced. I didn't see the notes anywhere, so I'm looking away. I saw Oud though. So I'm looking away. I don't want to see the notes because I kind of, I just want to say what it smells like. So first of all, let's have the poem. I hope you don't mind, but I want to read you the poem because this is obviously what's inspired the perfume. So it's kind of relevant. So it was a poem from 1794, I think, by William Blake. It's called The Tiger. And here we go, poetry reading. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame their fearful symmetry? So I just want to say symmetry, but that's not the word. That's not how we say it. So that's the poem, Tiger, Tiger. Obviously, a poet seeing a tiger as a fearful and beautiful creature and wondering on how he could have been created by the same person that created a lamb. So I know the poem. I kind of remember those first two lines. I don't think we studied it at school. So I wonder how it translates into a poem through Francesca's eyes and nose. Let's have a little look. Who's talking? Oh, we've got Chris in the room, and we've got Carty. Carty says it's a beautiful poem. It's very kind of, what's the word? It's almost like a scary story feel to it, or a horror story. John says, Claire Pear, there's defo a future career for you here. I should do audiobooks, says Jim. Oh, thank you. Okay. And Jim says that annoyed me too when we read this in high school. I'm guessing you're talking about the symmetry, or symmetry. I want to say symmetry. Yeah, I mean, I can't. That's what I say it in my head. That's how I say it in my head, because what's the point in it all rhyming and that one word not? I'm guessing the poet meant it to be symmetry. But anyway, that's not what we're here for, is it? I'm clean. I'm fresh out the shower. Except I burnt some stuff in the garden. I smell a bit smoky. But apart from that, I have no perfume on, and I'm just going to go straight onto skin with this, and I haven't tried it. So this is my very first spray, and I wanted to do that with you all because it's always more fun that way. So I can smell it in the air. In the air, it's immediately making me think of Mon Precious Nectar from Guerlain. Just for now, we're talking. My hands are right over here. Just from the spray. In the air, it's a sort of like a sweet orange blossom with some muskiness. Shall I bring it to my nose now? Rich Mitch is here. Hiya, Rich. Cutty, I read symmetry is ironical way to break down the structure of the poem. Perfumes with Pat is here. Hi, hello. Bougie Fragrance, Dawn is here. Hi, Bougie. And Tara's here. She says, good morning. Looking lovely, Claire. Thank you very much, Tara. So I guess we should smell this now. Now the alcohol's most definitely had the time to disappear. Ooh. Yes, it's not really like Mon Precious Nectar when you smell it up close. It's much, although you could put it in the ballpark, in that it is that sweet honeyed floral. It's at the moment almost like a cross between Francesca's lighter fragrances, or the two Neroli ones. Sex and the Sea and Sex and the Sea Neroli, and imagine that there was a stepping stone to take them to the darker, sexier offerings. It's kind of like an in-betweeny at the moment. Absolutely got some really lovely sweetness, also some lovely freshness. So I would say it's got some citruses, probably. Just guessing, there might be a touch of neroli, a touch of orange blossom, probably some bergamot, honeyed floral, white floral, maybe even a little bit of rose in there as well, but not in any big way, just giving it almost like a pink girly feel. Lovely muskiness, lovely sweetness. I'm not sure if it's almost like a vanilla and musk combination, maybe even something like heliotrope. I know that Francesca does really enjoy heliotrope, but it's not a sharp almondy type scent. But there's definitely some things in here that are giving it a lovely sweetness, and it's not sweetness from sort of like ethyl maltol, you know, like the candy. It's not candy floss, it's not caramel. So far, I really, really like it. So far, based on this, I would buy a bottle, based on this first impression. But I know that Francesca's fragrances really change and really develop. So I wouldn't straight away go and buy a bottle now, because something could potentially raise its head that I don't love. Tyger has a very dark feel, this poem. Now, I don't, as I say, I don't know anything about the poem, but it has this very dark, mysterious, scary feel, like I said, almost like a ghost story or horror story. And this fragrance doesn't smell like the poem sounds at the moment. Oh, it's really nice. There's this soft, fluffy, now it's probably iris, same thing. Francesca is definitely, I'd say iris is her signature. A heavy dose of iris is part of her signature. And I'd say that's what we're getting here. Just grab my coffee. Cheers. I think I'm going to make this my scent of the day. Let's see. Hillary's here. Hey, Hills. She says, good morning, y'all. Love the mug, says Chris. Yeah, I love I kissed a Smurf mug. It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, it feels Francesca Bianchi, but it's not dark like the... I know I've sampled, I think I sampled everything, but I don't know them all that well. I've got the Lover's Tale. It's not as dark and kind of, the Lover's Tale's a bit dirty. Lover's Tale obviously has that leather note, although I never really get a full-on leather jacket or, you know, leather car seats from that. I get more of a suede-y, smoky, slightly earthy feel from it. This isn't as dark as the Lover's Tale or Under My Skin. I'm trying to think of the others. It's closer to, if you have a little spectrum and you've got Angel's Dust and Sex and the Sea Neroli, it's going to be on the sides of those, closer to the darker scents, if that makes sense. I'm not picking out anything skanky or dirty, anything that I would find too challenging. So there's one of the fragrances that has cumin in it. I think it was is it the Lost in Heaven, I think. Really, really beautiful, complex scent, but the cumin, unfortunately, I just don't get on with cumin. I don't get any challenging notes from my taste. So I don't get anything that goes curry-like, anything that goes armpit or urinal cake, any of those animalic notes. I don't get any heavy leather. I know Francesca's a fan of sort of leathery notes. Wouldn't surprise me if there's something hiding in here, but very underneath the surface, something I interpret more like a suede. So yeah, I think that the orris-y-ness, the lovely, fluffy iris in here, my God, I'm really, really loving. I am going to make it my scent of the day. Let's hope nothing scary creeps up, because this is absolutely my cup of tea. So there we go. It's my scent of the day. Does it bring to mind tigers? No, not at the moment. But I don't know what the influence is exactly, how they were interpreted. Doesn't smell, a zoologist would be smelling like the environment more so. Doesn't smell like a tiger's environment. Unless the tiger's in this mauve. Let's imagine it was a tiger's environment. And the tiger lives in the most beautiful garden. And there's gorgeous honeyed flowers, all different colours. And let's say it's a male tiger and he's got a harem of beautiful lady tigers all around, and they have silk tiger jackets, silk tiger underwear, and maybe some suede items. there's a fountain in the corner, very clean, sparkly water. A tiny hint of some sort of woodsy element in here. Maybe that's the oud. Actually, smelling it right up close, there is something that you would, I guess, say would be more of an animalic. Maybe that's the oud, but not to any big degree. Not to, if you didn't like anything animalic, I don't think you'd be scared off, not at this point anyway. Tara says, I need to get a sample of this. Sounds promising, though white florals are iffy for me. I can't handle Sex and the Sea Neroli. Catty, don't particularly like Sex and the Sea Neroli either. It's not that similar. It's just that it's that ballpark in terms of the lightness of it, the balance of florals and sort of fresher notes compared to the darker stuff. So if you're just looking at Francesca's work, then that would be where it's there, and Angel's Dust is closer to where this lies, but it's not that it smells the same. It's hard to pinpoint. It feels like there's a few white flowers in here, maybe even yellow flowers. The exotic kind though, definitely the honeyed kind. The not really tuberose. If there is, it's in a small dose as to not bother me, because I'm not a fan of tuberose. I might scroll back up and read the actual notes in a minute, but we'll carry on for a bit. All I saw was oud, and I think I did see something about a floral. Oh, drill bit's here. Ooh, nothing wrong with a little dirty. I knew you'd say that, drill bit, you naughty thing. And Kati also couldn't handle Lost in Heaven for too much cumin. Cumin is very tricky, I think, for a lot of people. Bougie Dawn says, I would for sure keep my male tiger in my garden if I had one. Tara says, hit the like button, everyone. Thank you very much. Yeah, do smash that like. Flick the like. Yeah, so let's see, what else can I pick out? And then we'll... Yeah, I still feel like it's has some elements of Mon Precious Nectar from Galan. So maybe it's an orange blossom with sweetness and muskiness. It's definitely got a really fuzzy texture, not exactly velvety, suede-like texture. You know, if you run your fingers across suede, there's that beautiful, soft, almost fluffy texture, and that is, I think, probably down to the use of orris, and I really love it. I love that. It's got a freshness. I wouldn't go so far as to say sharp, but it's slightly high pitched. So yeah, like I say, I think there might be some of those citruses in the top blending with the florals. And some kind of woodsy ambery-ish note. Is it, oh my god, I almost got almost, I don't want to put people off that don't like that doll's head thing, but almost when you breathe it in like that lovely doll's head, sweet kind of vanillic, which could be, there could be some vanilla in here, there could be some heliotrope maybe. It's got a good sweetness, but not like modern designer sweet fragrances that have that, you know, that you usually have high doses of caramel and candy floss and sugar. It's not sugary, it's not saccharine, it's not, it feels like the sweetness is coming from quite natural smelling ingredients. I'm not saying like they're definitely natural or not, but it's natural from the way my brain interprets it. So you know how you get sweetness if you smell an orange, you can smell some sweetness. If you smell flowers, you smell sweetness in that flower. That's the sweetness that's coming from here. Nothing added that feels synthetically sweet, if that makes sense. Really like it. I think it's a bit it is a bit orangey. So whether there's some orange flowers, orange blossom, neroli, I'm not sure, but it's not bitter. It's not bitter like neroli can be, but it feels like there's a hint of something like neroli, petitgrain, giving it just a touch of a sharpness, but it's not sharp. You know, like if you said Cocoa Mademoiselle, most people know that. Very sharp fragrance, very well loved, but very sharp with its florals and citruses. It's nothing like that. If you amped down, if you imagine Cocoa Mademoiselle and you softened it, like you polished it for quite a long time, but you still left a little bit of sharpness. It's kind of like that. Bougie, I have to go. It was lovely to be able to spend a few moments with you all. Have an amazing day. Thanks, Claire. Thank you, Dawn. Have a lovely day. Amy's here. Is this frag peachy at all? I think someone mentioned it has a peach jam. Do you know what? Yeah, I think you're right, but I don't normally like peach, and this isn't bothering me at all. Yeah, it's that, and actually it's this texture. I said suede. The texture is a peach skin, but this is nothing like. So I recently reviewed Fragranza's was it bitter peach? No, that was Tom Ford. Fragranza had a peach fragrance, and that was very kind of sharp. This isn't like that. So this is almost like the peach skin, not the peach juice. It's not syrupy, it's not sickly sweet. I don't get on with peach. I think it's peach in Misuku, isn't it? And I don't really like that. I don't hate peach. I just don't want it in my fragrances. If someone else is wearing a peach fragrance around me, I think they smell really nice. I just don't really want it for me. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I'm a bit the same with apricot, and then that also makes me the same a bit with osmanthus, because that smells peachy and leathery, both of which I can find tricky. Yeah, it's peach skin, softness, muskiness, beautiful iris, lovely exotic florals. So this tiger's on a really exotic, beautiful island. There's just flowers everywhere, but this isn't overtly floral. It's not a big bouquet of flowers slapping you in the face, because that's not my kind of thing either. This is really nicely balanced with the orris note and something underneath it all that's darker, but not in any scary dark way, not in any animalic dark way. It's more, you can just feel that there's probably some woods, maybe some resin, something, but it's not in any strong way at the moment. It's all sitting underneath the florals and the iris. Hey Lizzie Bean, Lizzie Bean's here. Bit rough, she says. Didn't know you was ill, Lizzie Bean. I hope you're okay. Sam says, love a good peach skin. And Lizzie's only stopped on a lunch break. Drillbit says, try smelling it with your lips slightly apart and notice the difference. I'm really not quite sure if you're being a bit naughty, but let's try it. I looked weird then, didn't I? Yeah, I'd say it's super pretty. But it's not girly, and it's not sort of young girl pretty. I think if you really love iris, but this isn't the iris of, so Lizzie Bean sent me some Dior Amour, it's not like that, because that's kind of sort of green and non-sweet. It's not the iris of Prada Infusion d'Iris. It's not that kind of fragrance, I should say. I can't pick the iris out separately, but it's a sweeter. I did really enjoy the opening of Angel's Dust from Francesca Bianchi. No, I enjoyed the dry down. I didn't love the opening. And I'm getting some feeling that there's something maybe in common, but I love this. This is humming. This is humming off my skin. This is like it's purring, and I can now kind of see the tiger connection, because this is purring off my skin. It's like it's building in momentum, like it has a vibration. I think this might be my favourite. And I know it's very soon to say, but I think I need a bottle. Yeah, so far, absolutely loving it. Iris lovers, you need to check this out. I would say iris is so far the biggest part of the fragrance, with the florals maybe. Maybe the florals equally, and then there's something counterbalancing it to stop it being that bouquet. Lizzie says, how beautifully put, purring off the skin. Sounds like it's perfectly named. Yeah, it took me a while to kind of get there, but that's how I feel now. Drillbit says, being honest makes the smell different, with your mouth a little ajar. Smells different. Okay. I think because you're breathing in through your mouth when you smell then, so it almost diffuses it and it makes it less intense. I think I see what you mean there, Drillbit. Better drink my coffee before it goes cold. I hate it when that happens. It's a bit lukewarm. I think we're going to have to abandon that now. Amy says, this sounds really lovely. Does she have samples of this available on her website? It's not available just yet, but I know she always does have samples of all the other lines, so I'm sure she will. I think it's going to be about a week till she launches it officially. I love it. If you love the Guerlain irises, if you love, if you love what Guerlain do with iris, I think you'll probably love this. It's the florals. I feel like the florals are slightly changing, almost like there could be an element of a lily, something a little bit, something with a bit more oomph, not sort of the exotic airiness of the exotic flowers, but something now with a little more power, something a bit more yellow, but not ylang ylang. I don't know. Like, it feels to me like there might be some lily in here. So I think I'm going to scroll back up and read the notes that were provided. Let's find them. Put myself out of my misery. Where are these notes? Oh, here we go. Stefan provided the notes: narcotic flowers, honey, peach jam, patchouli, sandalwood, oak moss, oud, leather, heliotrope. Yeah, I mean, all of that makes sense. If you read those notes, actually, is there no iris? If you read those notes, it gives you a bit of an idea of how it might smell. But with Francesca Bianchi, if you haven't tried her fragrances before, a note listing is never going to let you know whether you're going to like it or not, because the fragrances are so complex. They're so intense, multi-dimensional, and I would definitely say sample first. I mean, this for me is an absolute love. I'm really surprised not to see iris there, because to me this is all about iris. The leather, any leather I'm getting at the moment, like I say, is much more like a really soft suede, really musky, soft, irisy suede. Heliotrope, I did mention that I felt that there was some kind of sweetness. Like I did mention heliotrope actually, but I wouldn't say that that necessarily stands out as a note. It just feels like it's all blended in, and it just gives you that lovely sweetness. It kind of comes off slightly almondy, which might be why I'm comparing it to Mon Precious Nectar, which is orange blossom and almond. The patchouli, the sandalwood, the oud and the oak moss, they would all be base notes, and at the moment they're probably just acting to stop it being too sweet, and to give it some grounding, to not break things up, but to keep things not too sharp, not too sweet. Honey, I don't specifically smell honey as a separate note. To me, it was honeyed florals, 100%. This isn't the honey of Back to Black by Killian. It's not the honey of Bengal Rouge from Papillon. There's a very distinct honey note in the opening of that fragrance. To me, this is flowers that are giving off their floral nature with a honeyed element to them. And yeah, peach jam. I get more of a peach skin, and to me it smells like suede, peach skin, iris, honeyed florals, and then just some background darker materials to, I guess, the undergrowth, maybe the undergrowth of the tiger's beautiful garden. So the tiger's in his beautiful garden with these gorgeous flowers, but just through some bushes is all the dark undergrowth where the oak moss is, the oud. You've got some snakes in the grass. Yeah, I don't think I can really say too much more, but I'm going to wear it as my scent of the day. I will comment in the description box a bit later if I can sort of add anything else to it. Let's just quickly have a little look at comments. Tina's here listening in, says good morning Tina. Catty says she loves the honey and dark side. Jimbo says sounds really nice to me, perfect Christmas present to myself. Yes, might be the same for me as well. Yeah, really loving it. It is changing. It's not quite so purry now. I feel like there's something coming through. It's actually reminding me of Sven Pritzkeleit's Sun Milk Flowers. Not the whole composition, but there's something in here that's reminding me of SP Parfum's Sun Milk Flowers. And it's that, which is kind of sort of lily, like yellow flowers, pollen, yellow flowers, pollen, stamen. It's got a little bit more oomph that's coming through and kind of overtaking those lovely exotic florals, those lovely honeyed florals. And I think some of the, I mean, Francesca puts naughtiness in every single bottle that she puts out. I don't know how she does it. She pours her core of her sensuality into every single bottle, and I feel like that's now starting to come through. How I explain that in words, I'm not quite sure, but there is something, it's not exactly dirty, but there's something quite, I guess you could say, carnal coming through here. It doesn't smell like sex. It doesn't smell dirty, but it's a little bit naughty. It's a hint, it's a little nod towards some naughtiness. And I feel like that's coming through now, along with this sort of bolder yellow pollen floral type thing. Perfumes with Pat says it sounds interesting, I have to try. Yeah, I love it. John says maybe an indolic jasmine or tuberose. Yeah, it could be. It wouldn't surprise me if, I don't know if it was, no, they didn't say what flowers, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there were things like jasmine, maybe frangipani or tiara flower. It's the white exotic florals. It's the heady, night blooming florals, enticing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't particularly pick up tuberose. And as I said earlier, if it is in here, it's mixed in with the other florals, and I don't get the bubble gumminess that tuberose can bring, or the slap you in the face, blousey, tits and arse out at the same time tuberose. So if there is tuberose in here, it's definitely, she's not being allowed to wear what she wants. She's being told to behave herself. And yeah, it's probably more of a jasmine-like scent. There could be some indolics in that. John says narcissus. Possibly, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Kind of it could be daffodil. Daffodils can be absolutely beautiful. I've smelt narcissus absolute on its own. It's actually, I found it a little bit disgusting on its own. But when you walk past, some daffodils have scent, some don't. When you walk past some of the daffodils in spring that have actually got a scent and that you catch it on the breeze, it is stunning. It's an absolutely beautiful scent. And it could be something like that in here as well, because the floral in here is beautiful. Gilbert says, a little bit of how's your father smell? Yes. Okay. Now I think I'm going to call it quits now, because I've got a night shift to do later on today. I need to maybe get a sleep or something, unfortunately. Thank you so much everyone for joining me, and I will see you all very, very soon.